Animals are amazing creatures that have adapted to their environment and thrive in that ecosystem for several years. But what happens when humans interrupt and change parts of the ecosystem, resulting in the decrease or extinction of an animal that had adapted in the now changing environment? The coastal giant salamander, sometimes called the Pacific giant salamander, are endemic creatures, meaning they can be found in Canada and the US, and can be found in the southern part of British Columbia, in streams, mountain lakes, ponds, and sometimes forests. They can grow up to 12 inches and eat invertebrates, other amphibians, small fish, reptiles, and even small mammals. These creatures will attack to defend itself, but it is more likely to flee and hide in the rocky log-covered areas it lives in. But researchers have begun to notice a steady decline in the coastal giant salamanders populations in the ecosystems they should be thriving in. So what's happening? The main threat towards coastal giant salamanders is habitat loss from the destruction of forests, lakes, and streams for the buildings of homes, farming, mining, industrial use, etc. This destroys the environment that the salamanders live in and forces them out of their homes. The decrease in giant salamander populations can also be connected to the introduction of predatory fish, such as the rainbow trout, smallmouth bass, and black crappie, into the salamander's ecosystems for recreational use. These fish would prey on the still developing salamander larvae, reducing the overall number of surviving salamanders each year. With this decrease in numbers, it may not be long before the species is no longer found in Canada, and if the decrease continues, the coastal giant salamander may face extinction.
As of 2014, the coastal giant salamander has been labeled threatened by the Canadian government and have begun enforcing new regulations to protect the salamanders from further habitat loss and pollutions by regulating the cutting down of new trees and the pollution of wastewater into streams and lakes. With these guidelines in place, the salamander populations may begin to increase and return to healthy numbers. These efforts to save the coastal giant salamanders are important for the preservation of the species and food web interactions within the ecosystem.